Good afternoon, African Confessions. I am back with another episode. There is a message that was forwarded to me by one of our admins. Let us just thank her for the translation that she gave us. The message comes from one of our listeners. The message reads like this. I'll be glad if you are going to read my own confession. I have never told anyone this story. I am going through a lot, dear brother. I can't even sleep with anyone without protection. Once we don't use protection, there is a lot of things that will happen to me and that guy that I'll be sleeping with. I used a charm called Mama Africa to make my husband to love me or any man that I'll sleep with so that he can love me. That charm, they even sell it in the shops. It is called Pekamina Ngedwa. I am a woman who is age 38. I am a South African. I was facing a lot of issues with my husband and my marriage was not stable. My husband was someone who was a womanizer. I was faithful to him, and when I met him, I was already coming out of another marriage and I had been heartbroken. I had told myself that I would never love any man at all. All that I wanted to do was to work and only work, then take care of my kids. At that time, I was working at this Indian wholesaler. That is when I met with this herbalist and I became good friends with him. In fact, we started dating each other. I don't want to mention the name of the country from where he comes from, but he comes from Western Africa. Me and him, we were good friends. What I used to do is that this shop that I was working for, that Indian man was not paying me enough. Most of the times I will struggle with money for taxi. Then that man who had his own shop right next to that shop where there was a wholesaler, he then told me that during my lunch break, if I wanted, he can give me some of those papers. You know, there are people that stand at the robot and they'll be giving people papers, and on those papers there'll be written things like small boys and penis enlargement. I used to do that, but I'll do it only on my lunch break. Sometimes I would do it on Saturdays and Sundays. I used to do this if it was month end when a lot of people will be in town. I'll do it so that I can have some extra money. The more that I worked for this man, he told me that I was someone who really wanted to succeed in life, and we became friends. Most of the times, he would invite me over to his house or we would go out for lunch or something. That is when he proposed love to me. When he proposed love to me, I started dating him. The time that I was dating him, I was also dating my current husband. But he knew about this relationship because my current husband, he used to come to collect me at that shop where I was working. He knew that I had another relationship, but he didn't even care about that relationship. He said that he just wanted to help me. But help me how? I didn't understand. I only understood the kind of a help that he wanted to give me. This was after I had gone back to him complaining that my husband was cheating on me, my current husband. When I went back to him, that is when he told me that he can do a ritual for me. He said that this will be a free ritual since me and him, we were so close. But he said that he wanted to do a ritual for me so that my husband can only look at me. Even if he were to see a naked woman walking in front of him, he will never feel anything. He will only look at me. And after that man had done all of these rituals on me, I saw that it was working. What happened before, brother, is that my husband was cheating on me to such an extent that he used to bring his girlfriends, especially when he would go out drinking at the tavern. Sometimes at around 3 a.m. in the morning, that is when you will hear him banging the kitchen door, demanding that I should open up for him. I would go and open up for him because I didn't want to be a violent person. I'll just open up for him, then I will go and lock myself in my bedroom at that house that we were staying at that time. My husband would then bring a lot of ladies, but he only brought one lady at a time. whenever you would come back from the tavern. They would do whatever they would do, and my current husband will never even care if the kids were sleeping or not. They would do whatever they would do in the kitchen. My husband would go to the tavern on Sunday, then he would come back in the early hours of the morning, and it will be on a Monday. My kids would wake up so that they can start preparing their food when they would want to go to school, and they will find out that their stepfather and another strange woman will be sleeping in the kitchen. This was not good. Whenever I would try to complain, my husband would then try to be violent towards me. But I am someone who would never respond to his insults or anything, so he would not hit me. But when he was insulting me, I would see that he was trying to push me to the edge so that he can find a reason to hit me. I knew this. When I went back to that man whom I was dating, who was also a herbalist, I told him everything that was going wrong in my life, and he told me that he was willing to help me. He gave me the first charm, and he told me that this first charm that he was giving to me, it was a charm to make my husband to stop drinking, because my husband was an alcoholic. Whenever he would get some money, he would go straight to the tavern. So that man told me that this charm that he was giving me, it was a charm to stop my husband from being an alcoholic. I went back home and I used that charm. He told me that I should buy beer for my husband, then pour that charm into that beer that I would have bought for my husband and let him drink. On that day, when my husband drank that alcohol, after he had finished drinking his beer, he vomited a lot. From that day onwards, whenever he would try to drink beer, he would just start to vomit until he stopped going to the tavern. But he never left his cheating ways. He kept on cheating on me. Sometimes he would lie to me that he would be going to work on weekends and he will not return back home. When I would ask him, he would just drop his calls. Whenever I would touch his phone, I knew that on his WhatsApp, I would find another woman whom he was cheating with. With all these things that were happening to me, and when I saw that I had won the first battle with the charm that the herbalist had given to me, I went back to him and he gave me another charm. But the charm that he gave me, it was in a form of a traditional cigarette. You know, those ones that they sell mostly close to the ranks, where it is just traditional cigarettes like tobacco. When he gave me this charm, he told me that I should wake up maybe when it was around 2 a.m. in the morning. He then told me that the way that I was supposed to perform this ritual, I was supposed to go outside naked, but before I could bath myself with cold water, I was supposed to take that powdered tobacco and pour it inside that cold water. Then I should start bathing. And when I'll be bathing, I should speak all the things that I wanted to happen to my husband. I collected all the charms that he had given me. Then I went back home, and on that night, when my husband was sleeping, I pretended as if I was having a stomach ache, and I went outside. Then I collected water from the tap. Then I started bathing. As I was bathing, I started speaking all the things that I wanted to happen to my husband. First, I said, the reason why you are cheating on me, it is because at your work, you are earning a good salary. If you cheat on me again, I want you to be fired from that work, and I want you to suffer. I want you to depend on me, because I know that the reason why you are cheating on me, it is because you think that you are better than me because of the money that they are giving you at your work. And I continued and I said, if you keep on cheating on me, your manhood should stop working. It should only work on me. When you are with me in bed, that is when your manhood will start working. But if you are in bed with another woman, may your manhood stop working. After I had done all of these rituals, I took some of the powdered tobacco. Then I started smoking the rest of that powdered tobacco whilst I was naked, standing in the middle of that bucket, just as that herbalist had instructed me to do. After this, one day my husband came back home. He was really sad and he told me that he had been fired from his work for no particular reason at all. And now, my brother, the reason why I have came to you, I am looking for help, because even though my husband is someone who is well educated, a lot of people used to laugh at him. They would say that with the level of education that you have, how come you got married to this woman? And they meant me, because I am someone who is not educated. Even his ex-wife was someone who was well educated. She has a lot of degrees. Last time that I heard, she was a lecturer somewhere. And she used to make fun of us when she heard that my husband is dating me, someone who was just working at the Indian shops. But now, my husband, as educated as he is, he can't find work anymore. By the time that they got him fired at his work, he tried to go to CCMA, but it seems as if the spirit of bad luck is just following him, because he has been everywhere. He has gone to the Department of Labor, he has gone to CCMA, but his case keep on getting postponed. So I don't know if these charms that I did are causing all of this bad luck that is happening in my family. I am the one who is now carrying the heavy burden. I am not educated. As for now, my dear brother, I am working as a maid for these other white people, and the salary that they are giving me at the end of the month, it is only 4,200 rands. I used to travel back and forth from work, but I saw that at the end of the month, with the kind of a salary that I am getting, the money that I am earning, it is too little. I then asked my boss if they could get me a room so that I can stay there. But now the pressure is now coming from my husband. My husband doesn't want to be far away from me. What I do is that, since my bosses do not allow any men to enter into their yard, what I do is that I use a separate gate from the gate that my boss use. So my husband would come, then he will sneak into my room, and he doesn't get out of the room. When I am at work, he will be sleeping in the room. Then at night, I'll be with him. I bring him the food because my boss, they provide the food for me to eat. Tea time, lunch time, and also in the evening, they will give me some food. I just take all of this food to my room because my husband will be inside that room. I don't know what to do anymore. He doesn't want to work far away from me. There was this other opportunity, but it was in another province. When I asked him to go to that work opportunity, he then refused. He said, "Let me go with you." But I said, "We can't go together because you have to work first. Find accommodation for me. Then I'll come and join you." But he refused. He said that if I leave you in this town, you are going to cheat on me. Brother, because of all these pressures that are happening to me, I then started cheating on my husband. I do not want to lie. The first time that I cheated on my husband, it was with this other guy who also works in the same area that I am working. He is working as a gardener. He was giving me a lot of money. When that man who is working as a gardener in the same neighborhood where I am working, he said that if you accept my proposal, I can try to give you 1.8 rands a month. And I agreed. Yes, he is still giving me that money each and every month. But here comes the problem. Whenever I sleep with this man, and if we use protection, everything will be okay. But there was this other day when I was with that man. He forced to have unprotected sexual intercourse with me. When we woke up in the morning, I saw that my private parts were full of blisters, as if I had been burnt. I didn't want to tell him because I was afraid that maybe I am the one who had given him this STI. Then we continued again. The next time that we had sexual intercourse, that is when he called me and he told me that when he was going to the toilet, he saw that there were a lot of blisters on his manhood. Brother Nashi, I have tried to go to the clinic and they have given me a lot of medication, but all of that medication is not working. Even now, my husband, whenever he sleeps with me, his manhood will be full of blisters, and those blisters, it will be like someone that would have burned him. But when I ask him, he would say that the blisters are not painful at all. These blisters, they can just appear maybe for 3 hours or for 2 hours, then they will just disappear. I don't have a normal life anymore. Me and my husband, each and every time, we have to use protection. And I can't stop cheating on my husband because of the reason that he can't provide for me and my kids anymore. That is why I keep on cheating on him. Please help me to stop. My life is just confusing. It is a mess. I don't even know how to stop this thing. Dear listeners, right there was a message that was forwarded to me by one of our admins. Let us thank her for this translation that she gave us. Strange things do happen. Please let us try to speak with our dear sister in the comment section. I'll be back with another episode.